Screaming like the start of a race. Diet Pepsi's my fuel in this Monday maze. Shake the weekend fog off my tired face. The hustling begins, no time to waste. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The grind won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Sun climbs up higher, chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The cloud won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Street lights fading, sun climbs up higher. Chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The grind won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I feel the glow. It's my time now, I own the show. Know that we can be heavy, but I'm tougher still. Climbing the mountain, fueled by will. Each heartbeat whispers, yes you can. I'm golden, helping every woman and man. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The climb won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show.
Hey everybody, welcome in. It's Monday motivation time, and I am, if you do not know who I am Pamela, aka Scooterrenee. I am the host of your Monday motivation, as I am for all Monday motivations. So welcome in. Make sure you do all the YouTube things to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure you ring that bell for all notifications so you know when I go live or upload new content. And a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate that as well at some point. So welcome in. If you are new to my channel, I hope you'll keep coming on back on Monday nights, especially at 8 p.m. Central. We do different topics each week. And also I do auctions on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and who knows when else. So and then I also do shorts. I drop shorts almost every day. We do a hashtag giveaway each month. So all you do is just watch the short, comment with that hashtag I give you in the video, and you get a chance to enter into the contest we do. And then for Monday motivation, if you participate when I tell you that it's chat participation time, to answer a question or comment with the comment that I give you, you'll get entered into the monthly drawing for Monday motivation as well. So a couple of great things to be able to take part in. So that's why you want to make sure you are subscribed and that you do have that bell marked for all notifications. And then all my OGs, I see you popping in. Hello to all of y'all. Welcome back. I'm always so happy to see you guys. Some of y'all have been with me from the very first episode, and those of you that are new, we are on our 123rd episode. And so yeah, we've been doing this for a while, right guys? And then the playback crew, if you're the playback crew, let me know that you're the playback crew by just leaving a comment when you watch this video. I always love to see who the playback crew is, because it's always someone different, it seems. So just shows you don't have to catch me live. You can always watch the playback. I just feel like you get to kind of enjoy being in the moment as we're live, because chat's rolling and everything. So, but if you are watching the playback and you ever want to participate in the chat, just leave me a comment with whatever I've asked in the video. So doesn't count like the live does as far as the entry into the drawing, but feel free to participate that way. I always try to check my comments. I always try to answer everybody. So I will at least acknowledge that you participated. So, all right, guys, let's see who all is in chat so far. Very first one in is Josie's Place. Hey, Josie, welcome in. So good to see you. We got Lisa D here. Welcome in, Lisa D. Good to see you as well. We got Dream Chaser Tammy in the house. Hey, Dream Chaser. We were just on just a few minutes ago over on Dream Chaser's channel. So, by the way, since I brought that up, hit the 3 dots out to the side. If you have a wrench in my channel, then that means I got your information. So you are able to just hit the 3 dots out to the side of someone's name and tell it to go to that channel and subscribe to each other, support one another. That's how we all get, ahead in this life, is by supporting each other. Let's see. We got Kathy here. Welcome back, Kathy. Good to see you. I was just doing the last week's chat participation, putting your name into the drawing cup, and I did Kathy's a few times. I did most of y'all a few times. So welcome in, Kathy. We've got Joanne here. Hey, Joanne. Every time I say Joanne, I always think of, hey, twin. That's what Selena calls her. So, but that's not my line. That's Selena's line. and Joanne's line, right? We got Cool Ranch, my sister here. Hello. Welcome in, Cool. Good to see you. Kelly. Welcome in, Kelly. So good to see you. Welcome in. We got Nancy here. Hey, Nancy. How are you? And then there's my feather sister, Selena. Welcome in, Selena. All right. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it does it for a while and then it quits. I don't know if you have to subscribe and unsubscribe, and that way it does. I don't know. I can't ever figure out YouTube, and I can't ever figure out PayPal. They're always changing, right? It's always something different, something new, or whatever. So welcome in. I hope you all had a great weekend. I hope you had a great Mother's Day if you celebrate it with family on that. Robert and I, we went to the Memphis Zoo Saturday with Harley, Patrick, and Elle, and we met up with my stepdaughter, Ashley, and her family and everything, and we walked over 10,000 steps that day. So we got there a little after 10, and we stayed until a little after 3. So we were worn out. Elle fell asleep before we even really got out of the parking lot, and she was eating go fish, and she had a little go fish stuck in her mouth. And I was like, oh my gosh. So of course I had to take a picture of her. Senior year will come one day, and we got to have those blackmail pictures, right? Yeah, it's cool. Definitely. So we did that Saturday, and then Sunday was kind of a flat out rest day. This Mother's Day kind of hit me harder than the other 3 have, with my mom being gone. I wasn't expecting it, and so it was kind of a shock to me, So, but I got through it, and I also got packages out ready to ship and everything. Robert took those today, so all y'all should be getting your packages from not last week before. And then Shelby and Emma came over, so I got to see all my girls this weekend. I got to see all 3 of my grandkids. So a perfect weekend, I thought. So tonight, thank you, Cool. These were kind of my, I woke up at midnight last night, big stomach pains. And then I felt nauseous as well, and was carrying a trash can with me because, it was one of those, you knew you were going to. I didn't, but I didn't know that I wasn't either. But anyways, so I was just hurt all night long. So I haven't gotten much sleep since last night. So today was a throw on my tie-dye long sleeve. It looks professional enough, for me in the office. And then these earrings, pearls dress up everything. I did have a pearl necklace on, but I took that off. So it was, when I get home from work, it's like I'm ready to get off my work clothes, unless it's something like this. So. Hey, Harry, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you, Kelly. Oops. Getting click happy there. So tonight's topic is on I expect nothing and accept everything. And when I was researching this topic, I found that it is having a mindset focused on detaching from outcomes and embracing whatever life presents, which is easier said than done a lot of times, right? So it's about not clinging to predetermined expectations and instead finding contentment and growth in the unfolding reality. This philosophy can be a powerful tool for navigating life's uncertainties with less stress and more open-mindedness. So let's jump in and let's figure this all out. Tonight, positive spot thought is stop doing all that crap you know you shouldn't be doing and start doing all the crap you know you should be doing. How's that for a positive spot motivation or positive spot thought? Let's see. Cool said, Mike used to give me a hard time because I wore 2 outfits every day and had so much laundry, but I had to wear dress clothes during the day and comfy at night. Yes. It's like I'm done with those. I want some comfy. Yes. Totally get it. But usually if I have an auction or Monday motivation, I'll keep on whatever I wore that day. I figure it's kind of pointless, right? Okay, so to start this out, I do not want you all, you on the other side of the screen, to be deceived by the title of tonight's Monday motivation. I want you to just get ready for an exciting revelation in tonight's Monday motivation because I had it as I was getting my notes ready. It's definitely something you won't want to miss. So, you're fine, Selena. It's been a rough, exciting day. So, there we go. Let's see. Right? It's like there's just something about when you get home, everything has to come off, right? Time to either put on PJs, sweats and a t-shirt, shorts and a t-shirt, whatever, but something comfy. Harry says, sometimes you get around old friends and you start doing the same old crap. Sometimes you got to find new friends, right? No, don't do that. So chat participation time. We're going to go ahead and throw it out here at the starting gate. Chat participation time. If you comment in the chat, you get a star and you get entered into the drawing. So how many of you have ever had expectations of something going to this plan that you had laid out in front of you? You had everything just planned out and so forth, and it just went wrong and against this plan that you had thought you had laid out. How many of you can say that you've done that? I know I have. Like, I try to plan everything out, and it's either something just either threw a wrench in my day, or, God had a better idea for my plan than I did, or, whatever it may be. You plan to set out on a trip, and all of a sudden you got a blown tire type thing, Nancy Smith says me. Cool Ranch says me. Yes, today, right? Cool Ranch and I were talking earlier today, and I was like, oh, sister, I feel you. Selena says me. Joanne says I have. Harry says I have. Lisa D says I have. Kathy says all the time lately, right? Josie says I have. Kelly says definitely, but try not to sweat the small stuff, right? How many of y'all read that book, Sweat the Small Stuff? I did, cool. I kind of cheated, right, beforehand. But me too. Hey, Salvador, welcome in. Thank you. Good to see you. But yeah, I have as well. We plan all these things to happen in a certain order or a certain time frame, only to have wrenches thrown in, and it throws us off the path and that we had planned out and everything. And what does it equal to? Usually it equals to pure disappointments, anger, frustration, and sadness sometimes, right? Harry said, that's the thing, though. God has different plans for us, and his plans usually work better than ours, right? Selena said, last year I had everything ready to go to Arkansas, and I got the worst monkey wrench. Amen. Yes. So maybe you're like me. There's a reason why, and some of this is going to kind of go into the business side of things, so just hang in there with me because you can replace everything with whatever I tell you. But there's a reason why there's an LLC at the end of my Scooterrenee. When you see my name, you see it right here in my email. You see it on my YouTube page. If I email you, you see it there. You see it on my Facebook page. Like, I have it everywhere. And there's a reason why. And that's because this is a business for me. It has come with the positivity. It's come with the negativity feelings that you can possibly ever imagine ever since I started this. So and the reason why I bring that up is I want to throw an example at you that will set up tonight's topic for you. And this is, again, like I said, is from a business standpoint, but feel free to apply this to something else in your life, whether it be relationship, marriage, work, friendship, church. You know, you can use this in anything. So let's look at an example, like I said, that's going to set this up. Maybe you always imagine what it would be like to launch your own business, being your own boss, setting your own hours, and creating something truly special. And it's the kind of achievement you'd be proud to share, a milestone, if you will, that really reflects your journey in life. And then thanks to your hard work, your determination, and careful planning, you set up your life in a way that makes it possible for your dream to come true. You got an awesome business idea. You might have even hired someone to, craft this fantastic logo, your branding and everything. Now it's time to roll up your sleeves and dive in. And this is where the fun really kicks in. You might need a physical store. Maybe it's a website. Maybe it's YouTube, whatever it may be. So that's your first mission. You spend a week exploring the town if you're looking for, brick and mortar, looking for the perfect location or finding someone to help create your website. And then you're chatting with real estate agents or maybe the website designers to negotiate the best deals for your business because you have a budget, right? So finding a decent location or the right website design person to do this for you, that's all you're looking for a good price, and it isn't always easy, but you think you've stumbled upon a great option. There were other places and designers that you really were interested in, but again, they didn't just fit your budget either. So there are a few more things after that you have to handle, such as getting property insurance, obtaining a business license, and organizing your tax setup. The right T word, right? And even though you haven't made any money yet, you've already needed to bring in an accountant to help navigate those tricky business taxes. Well, it's time to move on to the next task. You got that all done. Your store's going to need some furniture, or your business might have a few other essentials that it needs. So it's time to browse around and find the best deals out there. That's one more task that you have checked off your checklist. Maybe you need to hire someone to help you. So you got to look at the people you want to possibly hire if you're going to need help. Check. Everything was going smoothly until, bam, the deal you fought tooth and nail for, securing that exclusive product that you were so eager to sell, just crumbled away. Now you're left scrambling for alternatives. I mean, really? Your heart feels heavy, and your breaths, they come quicker as you race to find the wholesale importers, manufacturers, whatever it is that you're looking for, anyone who might lend a hand. And you definitely feel like you're back at square one. The challenge you're facing is that the new prices you're receiving are for beyond what your budget can handle. So what can you do to turn this around? You keep searching tirelessly, yet all you seem to find are disappointing results. This situation is quickly spiraling into a crisis. You've poured so much time and effort into this, and now you've hit a major stumbling block. It becomes clear that perhaps you should have seen this coming. After all, this is a business, and things are bound to go off course sometimes. A wave of doubt and second guessing crashes over your mind like a heavy rinse cycle, washing away your confidence in the harsh light of reality. Maybe you think or have thought, why did this have to be going so perfectly? I had a feeling something would go sideways like this. Anybody? I was just waiting for the shoe to drop. The other shoe to drop. I was just waiting for something to go wrong because it always happens that way. How many of us have found ourselves in those kind of thoughts, right? Kelly said, my last job, I used to buy pins shaped as wrenches to give to my staff for the many times that wrenches were thrown into our projects. I love that. Yes. Perfect. I don't know who that is. Harry says, sometimes you got to put yourself on a budget, and once things start doing good, then you would think I should have did this a long time ago, right? You do not, Selena, whatever. But this overwhelming feeling slowly creeps in and can feel like it's dragging you down. Another idea I think of is a wedding. Like, how many of us have planned a wedding and all of a sudden that venue is no longer available? Someone gets the flu. They can't be in the wedding after all. The photographer, cancels on you at the last minute. There's things like that, not just business. There's other areas that this can apply. That the overwhelming feeling creeps in and it can feel like it's just dragging you down. Starting a business is a huge leap, putting everything you've ever strived for on the line. You have to wonder, is it really worth the gamble? After all, those bills aren't going to pay themselves, right, guys? We all wish they would, but they don't. When you really stop to think about it, you poured so much more time into this project, another project, whatever you're using as your example, than you ever did at your last job. I mean, it's been a round-the-clock effort with barely a moment to spare. Those of you that are in the reselling business like I am, you're running it like a business and everything. How many of us can feel that? We spend more time. I know I do. I don't know about the rest of you, but I spend more time working and cultivating my side business more than I do my regular job. My regular job, I might get some stuff out of the way there during the day, but then I'm, doing things for my business as well. Double dipping. Oh, well. I just have that luxury of having a boss that I can do that with. But again, it's round the clock. If I'm not working on it, I'm at least thinking about it, right? It never ends. But you got less control over your schedule than ever before. Every thought, every second, just like I said, every thought, every second, and every dollar has been devoted to this endeavor. So what made you believe that working for yourself was the better path? Is this really what you had in mind? Maybe this whole journey was a misstep. It's becoming a bit overwhelming, right? As you face the nerve-wracking thought of potentially losing everything you've invested, that feeling of darkness begins to creep in. The idea of having to return to your old boss, hat in hand, asking if you can come back to your previous job looms very largely. Back up for a second, my friend. Right? Plan all my weddings, only one matter the most. It'll be 30 years Sunday. Now I get it. She's okay. That statement sounds bad. Corinne says reselling is twice as hard as I ever worked at a job, right? A lot of blood, sweat, and tears goes into all of this. Hey, Steph, welcome in. I didn't think, I think of Monday Motivation. I didn't think it would ever be where it is today. It's incredible, but let me tell you, there's been a lot of blood, sweat, and a lot of tears over if I was doing the right thing of doing Monday Motivation. Because I don't make anything from this, guys. I just bring y'all stuff that's important to me, stuff that's been important to you guys. I just bring it and present it. That's it. I don't, I could be reselling on a Monday, but I love this. I crave this. It's stuff that I need to hear myself say. So I want you to back up before you start freaking out on me on the whole example thing that I was giving you, and all those dark feelings start creeping in and everything like that. Before we dive in too deep, let's pause for a moment and let's catch our breath. What happened, or what happens when we are expecting the expected? How many of y'all read that book or seen the movie, What to Expect When You're Expecting? I know it's talking about pregnancy, but really, same thing can be applied to the example I just gave you. Well, first, we have to step back and we have to see what's really going on here. It's really quite straightforward if you really stop and catch a breath and think about it. Just like everyone around you, you're feeling the heavy burden of expectations pulling you down. I'm not referring to the standard everyday expectation you might already be familiar with. It's not as if we're consciously telling ourselves, I expect this or I thought that. Instead, it's something more subtle, quietly operating beneath the surface. And you'll only uncover it if you take a moment to look a little closer. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Cool said, at the end of the day, every day, this is my business and nobody tells me what I have to do, right? We tell ourselves. And I get on to myself quite a bit. I didn't want to, after not having much sleep last night, I didn't want to get up at 6:30 this morning and do some listing, before I get ready for work. Selena said, it would be nice if everyone could sell one time. Some would appreciate what we all do, right? Because this part's easy. When we go live and bring stuff to you, that part's easy. It's everything behind the scenes that's can be very overwhelming at times and frustrating. Maybe we'll do a business talk one night. Maybe we'll do that one night. Thank you, Cool. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate that. But you know what I got to do real quick? Because anytime we have that, I got to play. Thank you, Cool. I love you, sister. Thank you. Thank you. So, you just made my night. But anyways, I'm referring to those sneaky, unpleasant, and hidden expectations that lurk behind the scenes of your blockbuster masterpiece, if you will. The ones you never realized were there until they suddenly popped up and caught you off guard, leaving you breathless with their unexpected presence. When we embark on a life-changing project, we rely on what we already know. This comes from our personal experiences, things we've read, things that we've heard, or even imagined. And we start forming a picture in our mind, gathering information, seeking advice from others, and diving into extensive research. And as we piece everything together, we create a vision of what lies ahead and how we're going to navigate the journey And that mental image, it serves as our guiding blueprint for planning and execution. What we often overlook is that we're creating a world filled with hidden expectations. I'm going to list, these 10 items, and I'm going to expect 9 out of 10 to sell. And then we get disappointed when there's not been any sales and there's crickets and so forth. But those unnoticed gaps in our carefully laid plans that can undermine a promising idea before it even starts. In our business scenario, our aspiring entrepreneur was caught off guard when he unexpectedly lost a product deal. While that setback was unfortunate, the real blow to his ambitions came from the disruption to his expectations. Me too, Selena. Yeah. Thank you. I love my sloth too. Y'all know I'm addicted to sloths. Lisa D said, I did it once. The fundraiser. I give you resellers lots credit. Was a lot putting it together and then after the sale, right? It's all behind the scenes that y'all don't see. Harry, right? It's getting all the stuff ready to be sold, digging it out of places, and if it doesn't sell, placing it back. Lots of work, and you got to figure out, well, okay, if it didn't sell here, where am I going to sell it? That's why I got flea market booths and why I got the selling platforms and everything, because it's going to sell somewhere. I don't care where it sells, or that's why I do a yard sale. It's got to sell. Cool says the work begins also when you sell something, invoicing, packaging, weighing, and shipping your sold items. There's so much more. Yeah. Selena said, what means the most to me is making you all laugh. Some may not have a smile, so I share one of mine. Hey, yes, I love it. So there's those unnoticed gaps that's between our plans. And so I'm going to give y'all a way to figure that out here in just a minute. So wondering if you have hidden expectations in your life, any of you? I want you to pay attention to the areas where you feel disappointment, resentment, regret, anger, or even just a low energy, like, oh, I really don't, I'm going to put that off for another day because I don't feel like doing it today. I don't want to get up at 6:30. I just want to sleep until 7. 30 minutes. Yeah, really, that's all it is. But that kind of low energy. These feelings, they often include unfulfilled expectations. If you notice you're not quite yourself in certain situations, take a closer look. You'll likely find that the reality doesn't match what you imagine it would be. For instance, if you're experiencing trouble in your marriage or a relationship, you might notice a significant difference between how you thought things should be and how they really are. Those of us that are married and been married for a while, how many of us have felt that? We had this idea of what marriage was going to look like, or we had an idea what reselling was going to look like, whatever it may be. And then we're like, we get into the middle of everything. And it's like, that's really not going the way I thought it would. There's certain quirks he has that just gets under my skin, or he doesn't fold laundry the way I fold laundry. And then those little things end up getting into the bigger problems, So, this gap, it can also apply to other aspects of life, like your finances, weight loss journey, or a new job. Acknowledging these discrepancies can lead to some powerful insights. The feeling of powerlessness often comes from the difference between what you secretly hope for and what's actually happening in your life. The bigger that difference, the more uncomfortable you'll feel. Selena said, when Amelia passed away, my life is out of control, but getting my house done the way I usually have it, I feel so good about myself, right? And something like that, though, it's little things that kind of help. I always tell you guys in Monday Motivation that I can always tell when my life is chaotic when I go and look in my closet. I don't know why, but it always seems, it just happened recently. And if I get in there and pick it up, I feel like I got at least one little bit of control, and that's my closet. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference in my life. I came across something, and maybe you've read it or you've seen it as well. It said unmet expectations are the main source of disappointment in marriage. You could also add job, business, whatever. You can add several things there, but unmet expectations are the main source of disappointment, especially in marriage. And I believe the issue runs deeper than we might realize. The real challenge lies in our expectations. Many of the setbacks we face throughout life stem from countless unspoken or unnoticed expectations that loom over us, creating stress as we try to align our lives with them, and disappointment in reality doesn't quite measure up. I think about like my job. I wanted a raise. I've always been the type I shouldn't have to ask for a raise. You should think I deserve a raise. It's kind of how I've always functioned. And not to pick on men in this moment, but again, my boss is a man. He's got to be told. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Maybe. But anyways. But I think of things like that. You know, I'm getting so disappointed in my job before all this, before I got my raise and everything. I was getting so disappointed and so wrapped up and just getting so in a dark place with my job when all I needed to say was, I need a raise. That was it. 4 words. Selena said, well, I made it past a year of marriage with Sam, so that was a success. I told him I made it a year, so if we divorced, I still did good. Right? Corin says, kidding, not kidding. Got to ask if you want a raise, right? Or a bonus. That's my new thing now. But whenever, you know, the disappointment when reality didn't measure up with what we thought it should be, they often interfere with our daily lives, and it distracts us from the real issues that matter. Like a mirage, if you will. They pull us away from our true potential, and it muddles our ability to take clear, impactful action. I need a raise. That's all I had to do, right? As a result, we end up focusing on unrealistic expectations, and instead of making choices that could genuinely enhance our situation, this diversion, you know, like I said, with being not scared, just feeling like I shouldn't have to, but that diversion, it drains our energy and it leads us down a path of lost power, no results, and wasted time. So what happens if we cut out the middleman of expectation? Now that we've shed light on our issues with expectations, you might start to notice something important. Many of the challenges and frustrations in your life often stem from the expectations that you hold, whether they're current or in the past. We've been discussing a flawed business plan, but really, many of our personal struggles, like failed relationships, job dissatisfaction, and those diets that we never stick to, they often stem from expectation. So chat participation time again. Oh, get it done, Josie, get it done. Get her done. Selena says, okay, Scooter, I need a raise. Joking. I'm not sure how you would raise me up on a ladder. So chat participation time. How many of you have often found yourself thinking, this isn't how I imagine it would be? Or what about the last time you were angry with someone? Can you remember it? If that's you, you can just put me in chat. If you'd like to share more on that, then that's fine too. I'm not asking you to, but just put me in chat. If you have often found yourself thinking, this isn't how I imagined it was going to be, or you were angry with someone because it didn't go the way you thought it should go. I'm going to share something with you here in just a second. Steph says me. Joanne says me. Selena said, I was trying to see how many marriage certificates on my wall. Kind of like, when you get your different certificates in work or, college and maybe you got a master's and you put them all up on the wall so everybody can see all your achievements, right? Kelly says me. Selena says me. Josie says me. Cool says me. And you all know the reasons why. Lisa D, me. Nancy, me. And Harry says me. And I don't stay mad at people long. Maybe a day, then I'm done. Right? It's like I just got to get it out of my system is usually how I am. Let me have my little fit in this moment. It might just be me by myself. Let me have my fit and then I'll get over it. Maybe it takes a little bit longer than that. But I'm just saying. So if you have, gone through that and everything, take a moment to reflect on this situation. Lisa D says yes. Kathy says me. I had a knee replacement surgery 18 months ago and had goals of walking, no pain, etc. Now having tests to find out why I haven't healed. How frustrating is that, right, Kathy? Yes. So if you have been in that spot, I want you to take a moment. I want you to reflect on the situation, and you're going to quickly see that our anger stems from unmet expectation. It's the difference between how things are and how you believe they should be. And you might find yourself silently wishing that people around you would be amicable, honest, and keep their promises. You expect a lot from them, right? It's today, my boss and I had that same conversation, almost the same kind of conversation over lunch. He didn't know we were having it, but he's like, you're the only person, besides myself, he said, but you're the only person that I know I can definitely have loyalty from. And that's because my word on most things is the only thing I've got, and it's the most important thing to me. But you expect a lot from them. But when they fail to meet those expectations, that's when the frustration can really set in. So I'm going to be honest with you guys here. Told you I would share mine. Yesterday for Mother's Day, I had a moment. I woke up in this moment, and probably by the afternoon is when I got out of that moment. But I had a moment. And I posted about my mom and it being her 4th Heavenly Mother's Day. Some of y'all are right there with me. Some of you have had your mother gone longer. Some of you just recently maybe lost your mom. And when I went to pick out the pictures to go along with my post of my mom, I came across those of her and my stepdad. And those of you that have been with me for a while, you know my relationship with my stepdad. No need to go into all that. And I can tell you in that moment, the anger, it just boiled up in me, regardless of my forgiveness for him. And kind of like they are right now, although they're not flowing, my eyes are welling up. The tears, they just started flowing. And I was like, it didn't have to end this way. The way that it ended with my mom, it didn't have to end that way. You let us down. Of course, I'm talking to my stepdad in my head. You let us down. This wasn't how it was supposed to end. Things would have been so different for my mom, and even maybe for my own life, if he would have just done what he was supposed to have done. The vows that he said to my mom in sickness and in health. Many of y'all know that my mom passed due to Alzheimer's. Probably the hardest time I've ever been in my life. And so later on, as I was getting ready for tonight's topic, that this topic, it hit me like a ton of bricks. There were obviously expectations that I had placed on him and what marriage is supposed to look like when someone becomes sick. I expected a lot from him, and he failed to meet my expectations. So now I understand where my frustrations lie in that relationship and with what has happened. And maybe you can relate to something similar, or maybe you can put yourself in another situation. It's like I'm perfectly fine until I go back, and I'm just in it for a moment. Right? Poor Selena tried calling me a couple of times yesterday, and I texted her later. I was like, I'm just not there. I can't. And she knew. She knew what day it was, and obviously, and everything. So Steph says 9 out of 10 moments fall into expectations, even though my default isn't to have high expectations of anyone. Right? Right, Harry? Yeah, it was a good cleansing. Cole says, you may forgive him, but you don't need to have to forget his wrongs, right? It just puts me back there, though, for a moment. It's just like, what? This wasn't how it was supposed to go. I worked for my stepdad. I worked for him for 18 years. He had a well-paying, very well, nice 401k and everything. My mother could have been taken care of in the home. And that's just not how it went. So, I don't know. Lisa D said, I went to Mom's cemetery after church yesterday, spread some of my brother's ashes by Mom and Dad. That got me, right? I keep my mom and my real dad, ashes up on my fireplace. And so I looked. The piece I got yesterday, and I'll just share this real quick and then we'll keep moving, is the doves that I've told y'all about. Just what I call my mom dove. Was sitting out on the fence yesterday afternoon. Robert said, oh, someone's come to see you. And there she was, sitting there on the fence. I was expecting to see my dad show up too, but yeah, so that kind of gave me peace in the moment. Kelly said, some sweetest quote ever, sometimes memories sneak out of my eyes and roll down my cheeks. I love that, Kelly. I don't know if I've ever heard that. Hey, Mr. Stephanie, welcome in. Now, you might be saying, this sounds really promising, Scooter, but can you help me figure out how to uncover my hidden expectations? It's simple. Choose a part of your life, as I just shared, where things aren't quite going as you'd hope. Maybe something that's really bothering you right now. You might be going through that moment right now. And here's where I'm going to tell you what you can do. First, I want you to grab a pen and I want you to grab 2 or 3 sheets of paper. Cool Ranch says, I love the doves that nest in our Colorado blue spruce. Their cooing sounds always wakes me in the morning. Oh, I love that. Right, Selena says, I'm struggling today. This is the 11th month that my grandbaby passed away, but by blessing out of our sadness, helped watch Rylan cry. That broke my heart, right? So I want you to grab 2 or 3 sheets of paper. And on one of those sheets, I want you to jot down how you envision that area turning out. What was your plan for it? Steph said it does put us back in those moments with the frustration and anger. For me, it's realizing I'm not there no more and letting go a little bit of those unresolved, right? And I think when I was doing my notes yesterday, after all that, yesterday morning, midday, it just really put a lot in perspective for me. And I was like, wow, that's so true. I put so much on that expectation because of how, he's a great man, do not get me wrong. Before everything, put it that way. He's still a great man. He's just the shell of that man now. So, but it really put a lot of things in perspective. And I think I dealt with it on a level I had not dealt with it before, that I thought I had dealt with, but didn't. So thank you to Monday Motivation Topic for helping me figure that out. So now I want you on one sheet, like I said, I want you to jot down how you envision an area to turn out. What was your plan for it? What could this have looked like? And I want you to take a moment to imagine the future as it was envisioned back then. Tap into the hope and positivity that was all around and think about the path it was meant to take. And share as much detail as you can remember. Now, this is where the other sheet. You can just jot these notes down. You can come back to this video at this moment at 51 minutes and 59 seconds. Come back and, re-listen if you want to participate in this activity. So on the next paper, I want you to take that fresh piece of paper and I want you to sketch out a detailed picture of what this area looks like. I want you to avoid vague statements like it sucks. So this is where you write down how you feel, how it turned out. And instead, I want you to dive into specifics. What exactly makes it difficult? And what challenges do you find yourself facing? Also, take a moment to reflect on your feelings about how this part of your life has turned out versus what you had hoped for. That strikes a deep chord in me, as what I just shared with you guys. How your life has turned out versus what you had hoped for. And then I want you to take a moment and I want you to look at both pieces of paper next to each other. Your feelings of pain, frustration, or disappointment, whatever you're experiencing, are often strongest where there's the biggest gap between your expectations and reality. Within that gap lies your hidden expectations. I want you to spend some time exploring this area until you uncover the expectations you may have unknowingly set for yourself. All right, and I want you to take another look. How does your perspective on this affect your reality? Does it really improve anything? Does it help solve your problems? Definitely not. It often makes things worse. Kind of like I said, looking at what I expected from my stepdad, what I thought was going to happen, what I expected, there's that gap in between and what my expectations were, and it only made me feel worse about the situation again. So let's focus on what truly matters. It's an activity, cool. It's an activity that you'll grab your paper, and on one you're going to put, I'll review this just really quick for you guys. On one sheet, you'll jot down how you envision something to have turned out, how you expected something was going to go. And then on the other sheet, how did it really turn out? What could it have looked like, if you will? And then your disappointment and things like that, and avoiding vague statements of it just sucks, life sucks, whatever. Yeah, just go back and watch. I explain it a lot better than I do here. So again, that gap between that first paper where you write down what you expected something to go, how you expected things to turn out, and the paper that shows how they really did turn out, your disappointment, what you thought it was going to look like, and how you feel now that it hasn't looked that way. And like I said, it's the gap in between that's your expectation. But again, when you think about it, it makes whatever that situation, kind of like my stepdad, it made me feel worse again. So this is where focusing on what truly matters. It's not your problems that hold you back. It's the hidden expectations you carry. It's not your problems that hold you back. It's the hidden expectations that you carry. The main idea here is that holding on to expectations about how life should be can actually hurt you more than the situation itself. You often feel more drained. I had to go take a nap. You feel more drained by the disappointment of your expectations than by what's actually happening. Expectations can exaggerate problems and weaken your ability to tackle challenges effectively. And I'm not saying anything particularly revolutionary to you. The idea of letting go of expectations has been around for years. Yet in the Western culture, it's a practice that not many people truly embrace. Right? Exactly. You and Sam in this ride together. Awesome, Kathy. Right, Josie? You've succeeded, Josie. To look as good as you do and everything, girl, you on fire. But here's the advice. Let those expectations go. This is where I was saying that it put everything in perspective yesterday for me and how freeing it was. It's time to move on, so cut it out. Steph said, I thought by my 40s I'd have a lot more folks, relationship, genuine, mainly those I was raised with and around. We've buried most, right? Awesome, Lisa D. It's far more empowering to accept life's unpredictability and deal with your situation as it is, rather than getting stuck because you can't let go of unhelpful expectations. That's where I was. I'm not there now because now I know what's happened, right? But back in the day, I was having a hard time letting go of those expectations of my stepdad. Change is at the heart of everything. From birth to death, growth to decay, and the seasons shifting between summer and winter. Nothing stays the same from one day to the next, even if it feels that way sometimes. Here we go with these big names, these quotes I like to share with you guys. Herculitus, I don't know if that's how you say his name. That's how I want to say it. He said, no man ever steps in the same river twice. How true is that, right? We often wish we could predict and plan for everything that happens in our lives. And unfortunately, that's just not possible. These unrealistic expectations, they can bring us down emotionally and leave us feeling less capable than we truly are. It's so much better to embrace each moment as it comes, addressing challenges and tasks when they show up rather than being stuck in constant expectation. Right? The past is gone, you cannot change it. Steph said too, with that said, I'm grateful to build the relationships I have now. Again, I prayed for these positive relationships, right? Kelly says, for me, this helps focus on the need for load shedding. Lisa D said, I didn't expect to have one member left my family of 10 by this age, right? I didn't expect to lose my mom and dad within 19 days of each other, even though they were divorced in the same year, and then turn around a year later and lose my brother to cancer. There was 4 of us. Now there's just 1, right? No one expects that to happen. I didn't expect to be the last one standing. Yeah, I'm the youngest, but still, I thought I had my brother for a while. So, it's so much better to embrace each moment as it comes, addressing challenges and tasks when they show up, rather than being stuck in constant expectation. I'm not against planning at all. You all know this about me. I plan out my schedule each month on topics I want to do. Sometimes it's planned out more months than a month. And then I have my auctions that I plan. Like I always have almost every month, if not every month since I've done this, loaded up for you guys. I have my auctions and everything. So y'all know I'm definitely not against planning. However, clinging too tightly to a plan, along with all the expectations that are tied to it, can be a bit like falling out of a rowboat and still trying to row without any oars or a boat beneath you. Your original plan and the way you envision things should go isn't useful anymore. Yet you still find yourself struggling to bridge that gap between your expectations and reality. Life can be tricky at times. There are moments when you have to recognize that things have changed, sometimes quite a bit. And it's time to adjust your approach. Just face your situation. Take a moment to realize you're in the deep end. And instead of flailing around, focus on paddling your way to safety. In case you didn't know it, life is more of a dance than a march. Cool said, as time passes, to Steph, you will understand relationships and true friends come in all shapes and sizes, not always the ones you have known since childhood, teen years, right? Cool and I have shared many stories of that. And she said, I found that out in my 40s as well, and now approaching 55, things still change, but my expectations are so much higher than before. Kelly said, I didn't expect to complete 6 years of volunteer work on a nonprofit board of directors, in addition to my very labor-intensive job, plus reselling, hence the need for not taking on too much. How do you do that, though, Kelly? Like, I will find myself getting into that every time. It's like, Scooter, you're biting off more than you can chew. I know, but I really want to do this one other thing on top of the 5 other things I need to do, right? Or the 5 other things I'm already doing. Our minds, they are constantly running on autopilot with numerous thought processes happening without us even realizing it. And one key aspect of this is our expectations, which play a significant role. And here's a straightforward look at how our brains really function. We all like to hold on to the idea of free will. It's a concept that really captures our essence as human beings. Honestly, if we don't have free will, what do we really have? We cherish the idea that we have the freedom to choose our actions and when to take them. It's important for us to feel like we're in control of our lives and we can shape our own future. And when our minds are guided by automatic thought patterns, can we truly say that we have free will? Many would disagree. And here's the thing, as stated earlier, but differently, as I did in the positive spot thought. Take a moment to stop doing all that crap that you know you shouldn't be doing and start doing all the crap that you know you should be doing. All of it. Figuring out this free will thing isn't as simple as it seems, right? It isn't, is it? No man is free who is not master of himself. Quoted Epictetus is another name. Another big name. No man is free who is not master of himself. As we discussed before, even when you think you're making a clear choice, there are often many unconscious thoughts shaping that decision. Things you might not even notice. And when we often underestimate how irrational and illogical people can be, more often than we think, our subconscious is the true force guiding our decisions. But there's good news. Good news. You can reclaim your freedom to choose by learning how your mind operates, by observing your thoughts in real time. You can use that awareness to make different decisions. I can't remember what the example was I gave you guys because we talked about this 1 or 2 weeks ago. And I told you, I had the thought. But it was one where I told y'all I was feeling this way, and it was like the light switch flipped. And it was like, but I'm going to choose not to let that affect everything else the rest of my day. I'm choosing to be aware that I do feel this way, but I'm choosing not to let it affect everything else in my life that day. I can't remember what it was because apparently it wasn't that big of a deal now, right? But by observing your thoughts in real time, you can use that awareness to make different decisions. And this means bringing to light what's usually hidden from your awareness. Expectations are just one example of this. So let's do another chat participation time, just so I know you're with me and this is what we're discussing. Type in chat, I expect nothing and accept everything. I expect nothing and accept everything. Cool says, I'm just a little tired of measuring up to other expectations, what I've tried to do for so many years. Amen. Right? Yes. Yes. Selena says, my brain has glitches from my seizures, but I don't let it stop me. Right? Exactly. So again, I expect nothing. Look at Joanne, my star pupil there. I expect nothing and accept everything. If you think that, put it in the chat. Cool Ranch. Kathy. Yes. Oh, whoops. I'm giving you a star without reading what you put, Selena. I accept everything but respect nothing. Yes, Kelly. Joanne's like, you can take me down now. Got you, Kathy. I expect nothing and accept everything. Yes, Josie. She is a teacher's pet, right? Steph's like, okay, I just gotta tell you, Scooter, I expect nothing and accept most everything. Lisa D. Lindsay Diane, how are you? Welcome in. Good to see you. Welcome. So let me clarify this to you guys. This isn't about being submissive or weak. Instead, it's a declaration from someone who truly embraced success and can't be controlled by anyone or anything. Goes right in line with what Corinne just said about tired of living up to everyone else's expectation, right? Declaration of someone who truly is embracing success and can't be controlled by anyone or anything. When you let go of expectations, you truly experience the present. You stop fretting about the future or dwelling on the past and simply accept your current situation. I'm in that boat right now. I accept the current situation, so I'm doing things to get myself out of that situation, right? Kelly said, I'm trying to constantly remind myself that I can only change my reaction. Yes. Yes. Accepting what happens doesn't mean you have to like it or that you have to agree with it. It means you take ownership and take charge. Remember, when you take responsibility for something, you have the power to change it. Often, that's the most effective way to deal with your challenges. So go ahead and own it. Like I've told you before, that Epictetus, however you say his name, he was a wise person, he or she. I'm assuming it's a he. He said, don't seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and all will be well with you. The next time you find yourself feeling let down by your expectations, try shifting your perspective. Instead of stressing over how things didn't go as you planned, learn to accept them as they are. By doing this, you'll free yourself to handle this situation more effectively. You're feeling some growing pains at your new job, maybe a new marriage, new friendship, whatever. If you're experiencing growing pains, that's completely normal. It's natural to need time to adjust. Whether you're learning new tasks or getting to know your teammate, your new soulmate, whatever it may be. Making a few mistakes and taking your time to settle in is perfectly okay. Let go of any high expectation. It's all part of the process. Those of you that are just getting started in reselling, you're going to make mistakes. It's just going to happen. The deal is that you learn from it. That's the biggest thing. You learn from it and you try to prevent it from happening again, and you try to keep other things maybe from happening. That's the biggest thing. It's going to happen. You're humans. It's going to happen. So let go of those high expectations that you have of yourself and just know that's part of the process. If your relationship is facing challenges, try looking at it from a different angle to see the bigger picture What are your expectations? Many of us expect our partners to always be just right or to magically know what we need and how we're feeling. Maybe you feel that way with your boss. But remember, your partner is human too, with their own mix of emotions and thoughts. And it's only natural for them to sometimes lose focus or be a bit short with you, especially after a tough day. We do it too, right? Right? Yeah, I took Selena to a break room when she came here to Arkansas. It's just a place where you go and yeah, you pay to do it, but when you could just do it in your kitchen, I guess. But anyways, it's not you having to clean up the mess, and it's not your stuff being broken. But you just throw stuff and you just break everything you possibly can, beat things completely down to nothing almost. So we often hope others will treat us. Oh, here we go. We often hope others will treat us the way we treat them. That's one of my big things. I treat people the way I want to be treated. And when we do a kind deed, like giving a favor, we expect the same in return, right? It's like an unspoken debt. For instance, after giving our partner a foot massage, we might anticipate that they'll return the gesture either directly or in another way. And these expectations can become more significant and complicated in close relationships. Right? Don't need to do that in my kitchen. You'll be amazed at how much better your interactions with others will become once you stop expecting things to go a certain way. And when you learn to embrace whatever happens, everything changes for the better. It's important to clarify that putting up with a bad or abusive relationship is not acceptable. But remember, two unpredictable people can create even more chaos than one. And if you find yourself in such a situation, it might be time to rethink your strategy, just like in the boat. If things have shifted, it's time to stop paddling the same way. Your partner, friends, and family all have their own thoughts, their own feelings, and perspectives. And while you're focused on one issue, they might have a completely different viewpoint. What's bothering you may not even be on the radar. They could be totally unaware of your feelings. Well, I keep hinting that, I'm not happy. I keep hinting that I just wanted the dishwasher to be unloaded. I just keep hinting that, hey, I need more money. I need a raise. Instead of waiting silently for something to happen and feeling disappointed when it doesn't, try letting go of those expectations. If there's something you want, consider asking for it without assuming that you'll get a certain response. When you do something kind or generous, do it because it makes you happy, not because you're looking for something in return. That back and forth, that tit for tat approach, it can be harmful for both of you in the long run. If there's something serious that keeps troubling your relationship, it's important to talk to the other person about it. Don't assume they'll automatically understand your feelings or that they can change how you feel, because they can't. That's something only you can do. Right? Yes, Harry. Let's see. Just a little bit more, guys. Hang in there with me. People will always find ways to lie, steal, or cheat. It's just part of human nature. Expecting them not to and then getting upset when they do is unrealistic. Remember, in the end, you're usually the one who gets hurt more than they do. So it's better to be prepared and focus on protecting yourself. Holding on to resentment, regret, anger, or frustration only harms yourself, as we mentioned very beginning, or somewhere in between. Remember, it's not others who are causing this. You are the one impacting your own feelings. You can learn to accept situations as they are without agreeing with or ignoring them. Just like the whole thing with my stepdad. I don't agree with how he handled things. I don't agree how it ended. I don't agree with how it went. And that's okay. I don't have to. I accept the situation. It is what it is. And I'm going to still do my part to finish out the job that I did. And that was my word of taking care of him and my mom and whatever I need to do. Even if it's at arm's length, I should throw that in there. So, this isn't about condoning actions or avoiding necessary changes. It's about mastering your thoughts and emotions. By calming your mind, you empower yourself to respond effectively to life's challenges instead of letting frustration take control. Expect nothing, accept everything. Expecting nothing, accepting everything. This doesn't mean you shouldn't have a plan or that I'm suggesting you wander through life without any directions or goals. When you create a plan, what's the point of getting stuck on its expectations? Nothing at all. By releasing those expectations, you can truly engage with life following your plan while adapting to whatever comes your way. If things go well, you can celebrate your success. If they don't, you can recalibrate and try again. If things go well, you can celebrate your success. If they don't, you can recalibrate and try again. I'll kind of go back and check right before we finish. Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you, right? Steph said, my biggest one in doing for others as we hope is done for us is moving mountains for others or crossing oceans when they won't cross a puddle. Yes. Kelly said, and not expect others to get your hints or anticipate your needs via osmosis, right? Okay, I thought I missed something, but I don't think I did. Thank you, Josie. It is what it is, right? All right. Don't get caught up in thinking about winning or losing. Focus on planning for success and learn from setbacks. Expecting people to love or respect you can be pointless too. Instead, embrace them for who they are and accept their love as they offer it. Free yourself from the weight of expectations and let things unfold as they will. What's that song? Free your mind and the rest will follow. Hey, maybe who sang that song, guys? Was that Whitney Houston? It's like, maybe they had a point to that, right? Free your mind and the rest will follow. Now I got Selena singing with me. Embrace the life you're living rather than longing for the one you expect it to have. Expose, that's it, yes. I expect nothing and accept everything. This simple statement helps you shift your focus from overthinking to truly living. Everyone faces problems, obstacles, disagreements, and disappointments. It's just part of being a human. Your goal is to stay out of the swamp of mediocrity and drama. Your goal is to stay out of the swamp of mediocrity and drama that need to be repeated twice. Reach and focus on becoming your best self and reaching your full potential. Challenge yourself to live that inspiring life every single day. Your life, success, and happiness are truly in your hands. The ability to change, to let go, to take risk, and to unlock your potential is all within your grasp. Remember, no one can rescue you or push you forward. This is your journey to take. So why wait? Now is the perfect time to embrace that change. Last chat participation time. Say the drama for your llama, right? Last chat participation time. If you embrace all of that, give me a good heck yeah in chat. Give me a good heck yeah. Of course, I can't help but think of Stone Cold, and he says the HE double hockey stick. Yeah. I always think of him when I think of that. Give me a good heck yeah if you embrace everything that we talked about tonight. I know, right, Harry? It's like, back up, drama. I ain't taking it. I'm not getting in it, right? Joanne says, heck yeah. Kelly's saying exactly what I want to say, right? Selena says, hen yeah. If you've been to one of mine and Selena's show, you understand Selena-nese, right? Harry says, heck yeah. Steph says, heck yeah. Lisa D says, heck yeah. Kathy says, heck yeah. Josie says, heck yeah. And Cool Ranch says, heck yeah. Amen, sister. Right, Steph? Find the exit to the drama. Find the nearest exit and get yourself out of there. Claim it, live it, and breathe it. I expect nothing and accept everything. As always, thank you guys for starting off your week with me for Monday Motivation. I hope you got something out of tonight's topic. As always, tomorrow night, I will be hopefully on with my feather sister Selena for our one price short of a Happy Meal at 7:30 p.m. Central. And we're going to have the chicken nugget with us as well. Steph, the Grows Bargain Emporium. I don't know why I always want to say the Grows Emporium Bargain. I don't know why I always want to say that. Anyway, Steph is going to be with us, our chicken nugget. So we'll be live tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Central. Wednesday night, I think we're going to be over on Josie's place at 6 p.m. Central. And then Thursday night, I will have Cool Ranch D. Rito, who you see in chat right here. She will be on with me at 7:30 p.m. Central. And then Friday, I will be on with at least Harley, hopefully Selena, at 2 p.m. Central for a little bit as well. Harley and I, we have a big vendor event this weekend, coming up this weekend. So we'll both have to get ready for that. So I'm going to be having to get my teas and all that ready to go, get ready to be pitting totes and ready to load up Friday evening for our big weekend vendor event. So we're probably going for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, or if it's going fast and everybody's having a good time, I could be talking to a couple hours at least. So Let's see, real quick. Next Monday motivation. Thank you, Josie. I was like, I haven't checked. I'm just assuming. I'm just expecting, right? Thank you, Cool. Thank you, Steph. Next Monday motivation, episode 124. We are going to be discussing what's next because we have reached the end of this series. So we've done 8 weeks so far on this series. And so next week we'll make 9. And so we're going to be moving on to something else after Memorial Day week. So we will do Monday motivation next week of what's next. And then Memorial Day, that Monday night, I don't plan on doing Monday motivation because a lot of us like to go and have family picnics, go to the pool, watch fireworks, all that fun stuff. So the first Monday in June, I think, we will start a whole new series. So we got one more of this series, and then we'll be moving on to something else. So make it a great week. If I don't see you somewhere around the YouTube, remember to stop doing all the crap that you know you shouldn't be doing and start doing all the crap you know you should be doing. I'm going to repeat that till I can't. You got this. Now let's do this thing. Good night, everybody.